Hey there, More here, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. Today, we're going to do a champion guide and talk about Hospitaller. She's a rare champion from the Sacred Order that is part of a power couple. And we're going to find out and look and see just if that power couple is worth doing anything about and just what her kit is so that she can help your content, help your account, help progress you through the game. So let's go get into it. Hello there. We're talking about Hospitaller here today. She is a Sacred Order Magic Affinity rare support champion, and then she's got a ton of skills over that we're going to talk about. But after that, we're going to get into some gameplay. Ice Golem 10. She's going to be paired up with a smaller undeveloped team as well. Then we're going to get into her build. What I think you should focus on, what stats you need to focus on with her as a support champion. And then the Masteries. Where should you take her Masteries if you're going to scroll her out? So let's get into it. Her A1 attacks one enemy. Done. Can't get any more simple than that, right? Damage based off attack. Okay, got it. Her A2 attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of removing one random buff from each target. That's not entirely too bad. Put that chance up, book her up, that chance turns into a 55, 65, a 75% chance to remove one random buff from each target. But it's also an AoE attack, so that could be helpful. Removing the buffs is a beneficial skill to be able to manipulate and play with, but it is not a primary skill that you utilize the most, especially with a random buff. If it's something that you steal a buff, especially if you steal a buff from everybody and she can put it on herself, that would be awesome. But it's removing a random debuff, got it, or removing a random buff, got it. Could be beneficial in some content, but it attacks all enemies. Attack-based champion, AoE attack, I like it. Okay, what's your A3? Places a 15%, the small version, increased speed, and a 15% small version, increased crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Okay, I got it. She's a rare. She's got a lot going on here, so they gave her the small version debuffs. These big versions would have been much better. All right, cool. However, it's a small version. The crit rate is sometimes wasted space because a lot of times when you're going to build a champion for defense, for damage, you're going to build it straight out with 100% crit rate because you're not going to rely on the buffs of another ally. You're going to rely on the one champion to do its job and to get its crits in when it can because of its own capability. If you always pair her with a champion, you can build a champion down with only that 85% crit rate and maybe redirect some of those stats to something else. As long as you've always got that champion paired with a champion that does something like this, then you can get away with it. However, that speed buff is always handy. Would be better if it was 30%. I got it, but we'll take 15%. Her passive, a rare with the passive, that's rare by itself, right? Revives a random ally with 25% HP and places a block damage buff on them for 1 turn whenever Harrier kills an enemy. Only available when Harrier's on the same team. Harrier is a unique little champion. Kind of hard to build. Kind of hard to actually get some damage out of him to actually capitalize on something like this. We're not going to show that today. I'm not going to talk about today. I've been trying to tweak in that, putting them together so I can actually do a video on the 2 of them together just to see what they're going to actually be able to do. If you can actually take advantage of this skill with Harrier. Also, it's on a 5-turn cooldown. That's a lot of turns for a revive still. It's a lot of turns for a conditional revive. Revive that's based on somebody else killing a champion or an enemy. That's hard to actually rely on for your team. It's not a very good revive in my book. Her aura increases ally speed in all battles by 10%. That is a good aura. That's a valuable aura. Helps make up for that 15% lacking on the speed buff. But still, it's a good aura to have for everybody, especially coming from a rare. So let's get into the Ice Golem right quick. Come here. Ice Golem. 10. 10. All right, cool. We're going to take out Arcanist. We're going to take out Chandler here. We want to put in Hospitaller. And we want to put in, actually, Reliquary Tender. Come here. Where is she at? Reliquary Tender. Where'd you go? She's in my vault, isn't she? Come here. There she is. All right. Like I said, underdeveloped team. They're all 40s. So there's no crazy, massive nuking capability here. However, watch this Chaplain. Boom. Almost took out the entire wave. Chaplain's got some damage out there. Just so you know, don't sleep on her. I've been sleeping on that rare champion. I am not going to be doing that. I will be taking that champion to 60 and doing another guide. I've already done one guide on her. I'm going to be doing another guide when she gets to 60. But right now we're talking about Hospitaller, who just took out that champion with a 4,000 crit hit. 3,200 weak hit. She's not really built for damage. We're going to get into her build in shortly here, just what stats I focused on. Like most supports, I try to focus on their speed and their durability when it comes down to it. Rarely will you focus on damage for your support, because your support is not there to kill the team. Your support is there to keep your team alive, right? And Hospitaller can help you do that. She's got the speed buff, or she just lost the speed buff and the crit rate buff. And then Hospitaller can put out some damage. You just saw that, 3,700, because she does also have an AoE attack. So she does have the potential to put out some damage out there if you want her to be built like that. But the biggest thing is you want her focused on her support capability, that speed and that crit rate. You want to be able to cycle through, and that's what you want from her. Here we go. Her A1 and her A1, that one hit straight up A1. It's however you want to. You can take her in either direction, really, when it comes down to it. So you can take her for some damage, because she's got the AoE, she's got her single attack A1. And then you can take her for support focused heavy and durability. So speed and durability, so HP and tankiness, because of her buffs. Her buffs is what keeps your team and benefit your team. That crit rate increase on your team helps all the rest of your team do more damage, because they can actually crit more frequently, right? So she just did a 5,000 crit to that add-on. That's not a bad crit. I don't like this defense down debuff from this add-on one bit. So if we can get him out of here, there we go. He is gone. But now we're going to proc a Frigid Vengeance here really soon. And a regular attack. There's a Frigid Vengeance. And everyone still stays alive. But that's why we got Reliquary Tender in that, right? Reliquary Tender is an amazing Void rare support champion who has a revive like that. Unfortunately, looks like we're not going to survive this round and this run. Hospitaller, I think she's got a lot of potential and possibility in there for her kit and for your team. She just needs some focused attention. She can't just be on the side. She needs some TLC, some tender love and care, so that you can build her up so she can actually survive. If your champions can't survive, you can't kill the enemies, right? All right, let's get into the way I've got Hospitaller built. And obviously the way I've got her built may not necessarily be the best. However, I think I'm on the right train of thought when it comes down to it. She just needs a little more support. Go figure. Hospitaller, I've got her built in a speed set and an HP set. The other one, too, it's a broken set, so it's not going to be helpful or beneficial at all for us. Her HP. So let's get into her stats real quick. Her HP. She's got 25,000 HP right there, right? Obviously, 25,000 HP was not enough paired with a measly 786 defense. She needs more defense. She needs about 1,000 defense, and she would have done much better in that run. Her attack is just shy of 1,000. She's, like I said, I didn't build her for attack. I didn't build her for damage, right? She's only got basically 1,000 attack, and her crit rate is only 36%. Build her with 1,000 crit rate or 85% crit rate, and lean on that buff. You can get some damage out of her. Her speed is 171. Did good with that one there. You want her fast. Every support, you want to build your supports with speed and durability, because why is the support there? The support is there to support your team. And if your support can't take a turn, they can't support your team. So your team either doesn't do as much damage or they don't stay alive, and your supports are the one there to make that happen. So build your supports with speed. However you also build your support, but give them speed. Give them speed. Your support should be the fastest champion on your team. Her crit damage, 58%. Like I said, I did not build her for damage. Resistance is 60, not too bad. Her accuracy is 50. Her accuracy is negligible. It does not mean a darn thing for her because she does nothing to manipulate the enemies. There is no debuffs. There is no turn meter manipulation. There is nothing that she does to manipulate the enemy, so the accuracy is wasted. So when you build yours out, build it with HP, build it with defense. Instead of 25,000 HP and 1,000 defense, I should have had 786 defense. I should have had 20,000 HP and 1,000 defense. You want to try to keep something to that effect, that kind of a ratio there, that 20,000 to 1,000. That would be a good ratio for her to be able to have to keep that durability there so she can keep cycling through and moving with your team. The only thing is, as a support, she does not have a heal mechanic built into her. So she can't help keep herself alive, unfortunately. So Masteries. What would you do? What would I do for Masteries for her if I was going to actually scroll her out and build her out? So I would take her with the support tree, focus on those buff duration, the lasting gifts, and the turn meter manipulation based on her buffs expiring, right? I would focus on that so you help cycle her through. And then I would actually focus on the attack tree, the offense. So I'll go support and offense for her so that you can get some damage built out of her. You want some damage, so you want to be able to have her assist with that because she does not have that heal mechanic. She has that built-in conditional revive, but it's not reliable to do. So you want to build her with some of that damage in there, and you want to take her with the support so she can actually help benefit your team. Now, as far as which T6 you go down to, that's up to you. If you do anything with her, I would say either take her down to, come here. You want the increased crit damage, the more consistent damage output, or the T6 on the support side, the timely intervention, so she can get more turn meter manipulation based on other team members taking hits. Up to you. If you build her out, let me know down in the comments below which way you take her, which T6 you would choose if you build her out. Thank you for joining me through the video all the way through. I greatly appreciate your support. If you got any value out of this video, I would appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below so that you could join the mission of creating the most comprehensive library of champion guides that the Raid Shadow Legends community has ever seen and will ever see. I'll see you on the next video.